let's get rolling into main topic number 1. And the first main topic today comes to us from Brad Jovadale, who writes, I noticed that Incredibles 2 has crossed the $600 million mark at the domestic box office, which makes it just the 9th film in history to do that. How significant is that achievement for the film? I myself love the movie. What are your thoughts? All right, thanks a lot for the question, Brad. And yes, for those of you who may have missed it, Incredibles 2 continues its, pardon the pun, but incredible box office roll. The film, it jumped into the top 10 all-time domestic box office films, crawled into the number 9 spot, and now has become just the 9th film in history to make $600 million at the domestic box office alone. And it's in great company. It moves, obviously, it moved ahead a little while ago of The Dark Knight, but it's just sitting a little bit behind, probably won't catch, but sitting just behind Star Wars The Last Jedi, Marvel's The Avengers, Jurassic World, Titanic, Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther. Yes, a lot of people that surprised them. Black Panther made more money domestically than Avengers Infinity War did. Avatar, and then of course the record that may never be beaten, Star Wars The Force Awakens, making $936 million at the domestic box office. Incredibles 2 becomes the only animated film in history to make $600 million domestic, which makes it the number one, and domestically, the number 1 domestic box office animated film of all time. The significance of that is crazy, but it's not the only achievement that Incredibles 2 has hit. It has been an amazing ride. Let's take a look at this. As I just mentioned, domestic animated, it is the number 1 film of all time at the box office. For at the domestic box office, animated film's number 1. Worldwide animated film, it's the number 2, only behind Frozen. It's probably not going to catch Frozen, but Frozen is still the number 1 animated film worldwide, but Incredibles 2 now sits at number 2. All-time domestic, animated, live action or not, The Incredibles is the number 9 film of all time domestically, and worldwide is the number 17 film all-time, live action or animated regardless. Number 1 domestic animated, number 2 worldwide animated, number 9 all-time domestic, number 17 all-time worldwide. Now, this is a film that a lot of people, including myself, were like, where the hell is Incredibles 2? We've been asking for this for over a decade. We've been asking for this film forever. And so there were some question marks surrounding the movie about, is it too late? Is it too late for The Incredibles 2? Now, a lot of people said, nah, the movie's just too popular. People just love that first one too much. It's not too late. But it was a fair question. Is it too late? Or even if it's not going to be a financial flop, can it make really that much? Is there that much interest in it? Well, the answer to that question is obvious. I mean, there's your answer right there. Was it too late? No, apparently not at all. Now, of course, no small part of this is the overall quality of the film. Incredibles 2 is just amazing. I am honestly still not sure if I prefer Incredibles 1 or Incredibles 2. Like, I liked Incredibles 2 that much that I'm not even completely sure at this point which one I prefer. But whichever one you prefer, there is no doubting. It is not up for debate. It's not a matter of subjective opinion. The Incredibles is the number 1 animated film of all time at the domestic box office, number 2 worldwide, number 9 live action. I mean, the success of this thing cannot be overstated, so it's really relevant. Now, that raises the question, what's the likelihood of an Incredibles 3? From a business point of view, it's unquestionable. You have to do Incredibles 3. It's the number 1 animated film of all time, number 9 all-time domestic box, number 17 worldwide live action. From a business point of view, you got to do number 3, right? Well, the thing is, we just talked the other day, director Brad Bird was just in the news again, talking about how he really doesn't like doing sequels. So, I don't know how Brad Bird can say that and now come back and do another 3, and it took them a long time to get him to come back to do number 2. So, whether or not there's going to be a Incredibles 3, I just don't know. Honestly, I think it's going to come down to, is Pixar comfortable with doing an Incredibles 3 without Brad Bird? Because I got a feeling Brad Bird's not going to have any interest in doing it. So ultimately, that whole question about will they do Incredibles 3 is going to come down to the question of, will Pixar feel comfortable doing an Incredibles 3 without Brad Bird? That will answer that question. And honestly, I don't think they are. I don't think Pixar wants to do an Incredibles 3 without Brad Bird. I think they want to do an Incredibles 3, but not without Brad Bird. So honestly, I'm going to guess that we're not going to see Incredibles 3, to be honest with you, which is weird to think about when you're talking about a film that just crossed the $600 million mark domestically alone. It's in the $1 billion club worldwide, and yet I don't think they're going to do a third one. So, hey, we'll have to see if I'm wrong on that. I hope I am. All right, let's move on to the second main topic.